Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Sociology with Mahima. In this video, we will cover the topic functional theory, which is a part of Unit 4 of IGNOU MSO 2. So let's get started. Functional theory, also known as functionalism, is a key sociological perspective that explains how society maintains order and stability. It views society as a complex system made up of interconnected parts, each working together to promote balance and smooth functioning. According to this approach, different institutions such as the family, education system, religion, economy, and government each serve as a specific function or purpose that helps sustain the whole social structure. For instance, the family socializes children and provides emotional support. Schools transmit knowledge and skills, and the government enforces law to ensure order. When these institutions fulfill their roles effectively, the system remains stable and cohesive. However, if one part fails to perform its function properly, it can create imbalance or dysfunction, prompting adjustments elsewhere in the system. Functionalism therefore emphasizes interdependence and harmony among the parts of society. It focuses less on conflict and more on how social structures contribute to the maintenance of equilibrium. The origin of functional theory can be traced to the early founders of sociology, who aimed to understand how societies maintain order and stability amidst constant changes. 𝐂𝐸𝐴𝐵 Comte, known as the father of sociology, laid the groundwork by insisting that society should be studied scientifically, just like the natural sciences. He believed sociology's main purpose was to uncover the laws that govern social order and progress, looking society as an organism whose parts function together to maintain equilibrium. Emil Durkheim expanded these ideas and became the key architect of functionalism. He introduced the concept of social facts, forces external to individuals such as norms, laws, and beliefs that shape human behavior. Durkheim argued that social institutions exist because they perform vital functions that keep society integrated and stable. For example, in his study of religion, he showed how shared beliefs foster collective conscience and social solidarity, binding individuals into a moral community. Talcott Parsons further developed functionalism into a comprehensive systems theory. He saw society as a complex, self-regulating system where each part contributes to the whole. To explain how societies maintain order, Parsons proposed the AGIL model, identifying four essential functions every social system must perform. A stands for adaptation, that is adjusting to the environment. G stands for goal attainment, that is achieving objectives. I stand for integration, that is maintaining harmony among parts. And L stand for latency, that is preserving cultural values and motivation. Finally, Robert K. Merton refined these grand ideas to make functionalism more practical and realistic. He distinguished between manifest functions, that is intended obvious outcomes, and latent functions, that is unintended or hidden outcomes, emphasizing that some social structures can also be dysfunctional. Merton also promoted middle-range theories, encouraging sociologists to build theories that are specific, empirically testable, and grounded in observation rather than vast abstractions. The functional theory is based on the idea that society functions much like a living organism where every part plays a vital role in maintaining the health of the whole. The first key assumption is that society is an integrated whole. All its parts, such as family, education, economy, religion, and government, are interdependent. When one part changes, other adjust to restore balance. The second assumption, functionality, emphasizes that social phenomena persist because they perform necessary functions. Institutions, norms, and tradition continue to exist not by chance but because they contribute to the survival and efficiency of society. For instance, the legal system enforces rules that protect social order, while education prepares individuals to participate productively in the system. A third core belief is the importance of stability and order. Functionalists argue that societies naturally strive for equilibrium, a state of balance where institutions work harmoniously to prevent disorder. Mechanisms such as laws, customs, and moral norms ensure that people behave predictably and that conflicts are managed constructively. Another major assumption is value consensus, meaning members of society share common values and norms. This shared moral framework fosters cooperation and unity, reducing friction and making social life possible. Without such shared values, individuals would pursue conflicting goals, leading to chaos. Finally, functionalists see social change as evolutionary rather than revolutionary. Societies evolve gradually as institutions adapt to new needs or pressures. Sudden or radical change, by contrast, is viewed as disruptive or dysfunctional, potentially threatening the system's stability. Functionalism explains social life by understanding how different parts of society contribute to its overall stability. One of its central ideas is the concept of function. Every institution or practice serves a specific purpose that helps maintain the social system. Within this framework, functionalists distinguish between manifest and latent functions. Manifest functions are the intended and recognized outcomes of social activities. They represent what society openly acknowledges as the goal of an institution. In contrast, latent functions are the unintended or hidden outcomes that still influence the system. Functionalism also recognizes that not all social phenomena are beneficial. Dysfunctions refer to elements that disturb or harm the social system's stability, such as crime, inequality, or corruption. However, even dysfunctions can play a paradoxical role by prompting social awareness and reforms that restore order, a process that maintains what functionalists call system equilibrium. This concept emphasizes society's self-regulating nature. When disruption occurs, other parts adjust to bring back balance. Finally, Emil Durkheim's ideas of social facts is crucial to functionalism. Social facts are the collective norms, values, and institutions that exist outside individuals but powerfully shape their behavior. For instance, laws, customs, and moral codes guide how people act, ensuring consistency and cooperation within society. Functionalism provides a broad and systematic framework for understanding how different parts of society work together to maintain stability and order. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of institutions, showing how changes in one part affect the others. By focusing on social integration and equilibrium, it explains how societies survive and adapt over time. Functionalism is especially useful for analyzing social institutions such as family, education, and religion, by identifying the roles and purposes they serve in maintaining the larger social system. Moreover, it laid the foundation for later theoretical developments in sociology, anthropology, and political science, influencing thinkers like Parsons and Merton, who expanded its analytical depth. Although functional theory or functionalism provides a useful framework for understanding social stability, it has been widely criticized for its limitation and biases. Below are the major criticisms explained in detail. First is conservatism or status quo bias. Functionalism often supports the existing social order by assuming that everything in society serves a purpose. It tends to see inequality, hierarchy, and power differences as necessary for stability rather than as problems to be challenged. As a result, it can appear conservative, legitimizing the status quo and discouraging social reform or critique. Second is neglect of conflict and change. The theory places excessive focus on stability, harmony, and integration, downplaying the role of conflict, struggle, and revolution in shaping societies. Real societies are dynamic, marked by class struggles, social movements, and rapid transformations. all of which functionalism underestimates. This makes the theory less suitable for analyzing social change and historical evolution. Third is teleology or circular reasoning. Functionalism explains social phenomena by their outcomes or purposes. For example, religion exists because it creates social cohesion. This reasoning is teleological, as it assumes institutions exist in order to perform certain functions without explaining how or why they originated. Such reasoning can be circular and non-scientific, weakening the explanatory power of the theory. Fourth is overemphasis on consensus. Functionalism assumes that all members of society share the same values and norms which bind them together. However, modern societies are pluralistic, marked by diverse beliefs, interests, and ideologies. By overemphasizing values consensus, the theory ignores diversity, dissent, and power struggles. Fifth is determinism. The theory views individuals as passive role holders who merely fulfill the needs of the social system. It overlooks human agency, creativity, and resistance, portraying people as products of social structures rather than the active participants who can shape or change them. Sixth is empirical vagueness. Functionalism often relies on broad, abstract concepts like system equilibrium. Such ideas are difficult to operationalize or test empirically, making the theory more philosophical than scientific. As a result, its claims can be hard to prove or falsify in real-world research. Robert K. Merton made significant contributions to functional theory by addressing many of its weaknesses and making it more scientific and applicable to real-world research. His modifications provided a more balanced and empirically grounded approach to functional analysis. Let's talk about middle-range theory. Merton rejected the idea of a single, all-encompassing grand theory that tries to explain every aspect of society. Instead, he proposed the idea of middle-range theories, that is, theories that focus on specific social phenomena that can be empirically tested and verified. This approach made sociology more practical and scientific, linking theoretical concepts with observable evidence. Examples include theories of anomie and strain or reference groups, which are concrete and testable within particular context. Merton also talked about recognition of dysfunction. While early functionalists saw all social elements as contributing positively to social stability, Merton argued that not all functions are beneficial. He introduced the idea of dysfunctions, elements of society that can disrupt or harm the social system. For example, while religion can promote social cohesion, it can also produce intolerance or conflict. This recognition made functionalism more realistic, acknowledging that social phenomena can have both positive and negative effects. Merton refined the concept of function by dividing it into two categories: manifest functions and latent functions. Manifest functions are the intended and recognized consequences of social actions or institutions. For example, the manifest function of education is to teach knowledge and skills. Latent functions are the unintended or hidden consequences that may not be immediately obvious. For example, the latent functions of education may be forming social networks or finding partners. This distinction made functional analysis more nuanced, allowing sociologists to uncover deeper social meanings and outcomes beyond surface level purposes. That's all for today's videos, guys. Here are some questions which have come into the exams in previous years. Thank you for joining the class. See you in the next video.